I myself was here. You can I not my God. He's telling I see. He did I see the same. You know I walk in the valley of the shadow of death. I fear no evil. When I roll and I serve, the comfort I I shall go in the house of RasTafari.
We can do better, we can do more, we can do more.
Thank you very much. Yes, you are welcome to the 7th National RasTafari Conference. Every year around the 2nd of March, we do this to commemorate the founding of the RasTafari Council and also the victory of Adwa, where an African army defeated and humiliated an Ethiopian army, and keeping that nation of Ethiopia glorious and independent up until now. The RasTafari Council was formed, inaugurated on that day. But given our experiences, we have seen that we don't get the level of patronage that we need. So we have ceased hosting our conferences on a weekday where people have to go to work. That's why we are gathering today on the 5th of March. So you are welcome. Today, we have tabled a certain topic which has been something that RasTafari wouldn't talk about some 10 years ago. But there is evolving thoughts, just like any consciousness we are developing. And so today we are tabling the case of politics and RasTafari. And we are asking the question, how do Ghanaian RasTafari get into Ghanaian politics? You are welcome. We want to begin with the program by bringing our dignitaries onto the high table, and then we can start off from there. We also want to apologize for the late beginning of this program. For all of us who are just coming, we don't have our program lined up yet, so along the line we'll be telling you what's going to be happening. So after the dignitaries come up the high table, we'll have the chairman of the local organizing committee, those who are hosting us, give us an address, and then we'll go to the Women's Commission, go to the president of the RasTafari Council, and then we'll take our keynote address for today. So please, without much ado, I'd like to bring on the head table the president of the RasTafari Council, also the president of the RasTafari Continental Council, in the person of Ahoma Bosco Council. We'd like to say thank you to the LOC. We'd like to say thank you to the youths of Mankasim and of the Central Region for the hard work they have done to host us today. Next, we want to bring our keynote speaker, a well-known face in the Pan-African world, a man who has done it all and seen it all, and we want him to speak about politics and RasTafari today. Let's bring onto the high table Also onto the high table, like I said, the chairman of the local organizing committee, my good brother Ras Eddie Bongo Iritz. These are the brothers who are hosting us today. They brought us to Mana Heights today. We are from Accra, some of us are from Kumasi, some are from the Volta region. But these brothers, they represent the face of RasTafari in this region. Thank you very much. We'd like also to bring out to the high table a representative of the Women's Commission, Empress Najama, also of the 12th tribe of Israel. next to mount is Priest Marfo. Priest Marfo. From the Asante region. Yes, so good people, Rastafari from nationwide. These are our high dignitaries for today. It is the 7th National Rastafari Conference, and today our topic is Rastafari and politics. That's the theme. But the main topic where the Rabbi will be delivering is the opportunities for Rastafari in Ghanaian politics. Like I said some years back, we wouldn't say politics, but now we are saying politics because we are evolving in our consciousness. Thank you. Yes, please. Because of our numbers, so we would like people to come forward so that it will be much more interactive. Most of us are sitting behind. Let's come forward so that our speakers can interact properly with us. Yes, so to kick off, thank you. You can come forward, but this place is being reserved for the traditional authorities coming to join us from the Pester Royal family. Thank you. So to kick off, we will start off with the opening address from the chairman of the local organizing committee, my brother Bongo Eddie Iritz.
Rastafari.
Selassie the first.
For the conquering lion shall break every chains. For the conquering lion, Rastafari shall break every chains. Rastafari, yeah man, hey Nubia. I'm the we are soon free too. Any kind, give thanks to everyone who has supported this program. It will be say some way. I was go on the baby, and so my son had that any kind, Rastafari Council. I see. Yen keynote speaker, Reverend Koa, the suffering with Tumaba, and then I see. And then you pay for it to you, and assemblyman, and then I see. And the Wibiala, and the Wababudra, and I see. And they, and that's so cool, Rastafari Council, and the conference, automation. Yaba, and the Bria and Bra, Yaba was Central Region. And the Bria would decline our conference of them who was Central Region. And then the Azibiara, new organizing on you easy. And so in there, my Mosai, what did the big to be now, yet than I see. And then, young Asama, Yanitema, you did the big to me, I see. Rastafari and politics. Now, the opportunity for Rastafari in Ghanaian politics. Topic Sukubia on Intian Penina. About the start today, Obidjum, not the action here or here, over the Mbri. The Mbri and Bra, Obibiana, Waba Piano. Historical, Dibia, Olympian Bibiada. Yeah. Makasa munde usupu ijano aiden wehu na watu sa ozafro e obiara se yina yafa yana dwem na yana yanse ne yimizia yezebe yambra ne yafa mbeboa ne dwumezi yebopono na waye dududu na America ide asibiara was beto amarasta madam mbri yehu do yaza obeboa no o ma yina no yeso Fide, Yenso, no, on any part. Say, Yakade Russo, Azima, or Yimpani Yebusu. Remember your Waku, Akasi, all day in you, especially a committee there, a corner of the organize our BFM, marijuana, or your Kusu, other rastas in you, or they him, Nayasha Madam, Bra, or the Hopiano, offering more to do. He said, Rasta, Afa, intimidation, Rasta passed through a lot. I will have a friend can't Rastas baby, I should want. Rastas baby, I should want Iska. Rastas baby, where you will lose one wives. Rastas baby, will you check him? Oh, prisons are on my buying. It's a little bit prayer. Oh, there, so you took me a share. It is a yellow into political and general and bring a yellow out. I give you alone here about poor money, more money of financial papa, a friend. Yabua, feeling in the Echo Canada, Betina, one of my old children. Today, Omar recognize our baby, a friend, and I wait and I cannabis, Yan Yawahano, the memory of mine on Yashe, near economy, Hawaii, Yashe, or mine a choir, Wafachia, and so say, or Yazet, or legalize our buyer of friend, cannabis, and I say, why you help and untaupi, and I wish, or legalize was on my yana. Purely no one, Daniel farmer Pierre in your coin. The memory last 2 years, no passive bill, we say, what the Juma, the industrial purpose, maybe be pharmaceutical purpose. I can up till now. You know, killing baby, one license, one office. Up till now, you know, a baby, what you could do. The pedal by Asibia, at the other common farm and I did, will be one you they call us so young for so. It's Cafuna Casasso, as I did, to be young for so. The memory woman to one of money one day, as we to walk poor money, the memory, a gold, a failure, diamond, way failure, timber, cocoa, because you would have been a millionaire, the memory say yes, this guy. That means way failure. At the back, Cooper, what can money, I'll buy our friend of hemp, money, marijuana. It's the memory of bread, woman in Yanka Hombo, near 2 young bread out. Yeah, Yanka Hombo, young MPs. Yama and ministers, Yama and political leaders, and who feel Yansu Rastan within our mining, Yan contributed to our minor over the way Yaman Fasu. Now, yes, Yaman paying for say, I dream all Rastanism on Little or so. It's one more Rasta for quite. Me took you one out by him because Rasta should be to why minister, Rasta go to why MP, Rasta go to why lawyer, Rasta a PR. It's the memory and bear, yellow. Woman, your coin, may I drink your one, your fanboy, yet the BBRC. Woman, because His Majesty has working in the we should centralize and organize. You know, they need to get a Africa, when the righteous people in Africa, the whole world will come together. See, I think for what we are seeing now, we are smiling now because Omayam Premier Kayambo, Doba Ofumba, Fisay Jaco, Selassie, or not in all the two of Africa mine, maybe mine, maybe as mine, nobody we are suffering in our nature. See, Yan Jaco number, Omayam Kayambo, then yet, Nayam Pertner Rasta, so, Nanyam on Daisy, or a mine nado, Rastafari.
Thank you very much. That was the chairman of the LOC. He's calling for Rastafari to centralize and to organize. And he's saying that when righteous people unite, the world will unite. Those of us who know him know that he's very passionate about the laws, the prohibition laws of cannabis that are in Ghana. And he was saying that some years back, Parliament tried to work on them and they have a bill in place, and he was saying that up until now the president has not appended his signature, and so it's not law. And so he's calling on the authorities to make sure that they do what they have to do so that those very outmoded cannabis prohibition laws that are being implemented in Ghana will be of the past. Alright, please, we'll move on to solidarity messages, and we'll start from the Asante region. We're having Ojiamain Nanaya Odunsini to speak for the Asante region. Show some love, please.
Pamucho ebia man kone said the moon can na pamucho no de acha na wo ya ambas bidin no ye nana okoje aman yaw nunsin nana okoje aman yaw nunsin aka osenkani yaw ebe go disi minu ya be manu abekasa na asem no so ena mejira mu ama asanteman ene da edikan a me mabadwumedi yase obuoni ahobrase mu odo ene kro ya ye penti ena me ejina asanteman anemu menye said ebia obadwen no nanso me ye Ghana ni say ubisa me say me ye hini a meka tro say me ye Ghana ni na me ye kroboni me ye fantini me ye wi no eno nso emwaye nti me pa mcho nti me ye Ghana ni okay me ko nisi ene ye say ye wa ha say ye beka politics asset kakra me mekane say ye politicians ni twaka ye na adidie no eduru ye so me pa mcho muntie bi ye pa ye mfa ye kuo we enkohye Babylon for no in Shisha and say, ye kuo we, ye register. Some more register, Monsanko, Namuko, country one say, ye kuo we, ye register. In some way, atono, Opa Fako Pemo, no may be already. In some, sa in Shemu we are. Mweshia emprema kumakun son ebusuafo a ede nhyehyeye gu fom enuanum ede nhyehyeye gu fom omo asosa adwumadie mu amana akoba akun mienu miensa enan enum ensia enson no pamacho mumaye nyina ye mom ne yanka cho se ye da omo asepa pamacho nia Mijina asantiman nemu a meka ne se yem pesempesefo ye dosu sin wona omu asase su yina yen pesempesefo se won ti ase ama me nkyerɛ yen na didie no eduru yen so pepa mo chomo mame kakre be mi nkyɛde ne so yen na didie no se Ghana apaba ewo NDC ni MPP say Ghana pe ekurofuku bia omo be sore na yede Ghana omo nsem ne omo adwene a omo be kire no ene Ghana fo edie ese na omo de Ghana ahye won sa na omo so omo abu oman no NDC MPP etu Pacho asama making ene bodeti to ho ye be ye wan dwuma de ni mi ase ye ku obi wa ho obi botu omo prison no kwase kasa obi ba every prison e ba na anu ya ko say we no awon say one road a obotuma e ye bone no omo ton e wo prison so
Okay. Almost a prison. Obi obetibia onim se ne ye kan enokre adenti bi pacho oba kroma obeto no 1 cedi ne 50 pesos ye di age okra no ena ebia 2 cedi oko prison wa eye 5 cedi ana 10 cedi ana 50 Ghana ne boye tin no mo ye was a contract wo prison ho no mpacho omo prison ho na nso sika e ya do so asen wo dia be pa macho ye mfa ekuo we en ko hye Babylon anase kwesi buroni democracy politics we no be pa macho ye ya hinie no e ye afigbo ahini obi ni ade ni en kase 8 years ye ntunu ni en fa from ra e gise onkone se de mrane tie onkone se de mrane tie dia ye hu kwan se ye yi ni nansen pabo na ye tunu ye rastafo anan empesempesefo ya hinie no me pa macho bebre me du hape ma pone tofa na matranse bebre wo ho na so me nyebre no e wo mpanyimfo ni nyina ensem ne ntino ebia no obia soso obia eseso oka nti obuni amubrasiem usrem me pa macho ye na didi no edie so hwa ade me pa macho ye empesefo ene akonfo ene ahemfo ye na adidie ne edie so saa nipa miensa we ye beka ye ho abom ne ya di ahenie no efi omo yi wo ti sakura no mo ne ye keka ho no ye bejiwo ye betu ade so me ba jo ye ni tuo ye ni sikan ye de apa nenso so empesempesefo edoso me ba jo ye wo empesempesefo e wo so ye mu fire service mu police mu ministers, doctors, professors, lawyers, judges, and one of the ahabano, a year, Jumano, on papa. It's one who can say, I have my phone, you're sorry. Ubemuto. Ubemuto, you're free copper. Asante Mai. Free and now, 11th May. Ye bedi Bob Marley na fashe konkon sede ye bedi hila salase de no so me ba so me manko school ankochi e me dese manko school brofu bebre no eseye papa e ma ye die muntasem ye be kan brofu ye be ba no mati di nyina e pu bia mo be bo enti ye ye da no Intina RasTafari no etwe na afena ebrena so 2024 we ye be ye hu eduma de won say chiraboson obayo obedi te me ba cho omo pe party ana ye nko party ye ko no kingdom ahinie eti ye ne asofo no ye ne ahemfo akonfo ena empesefo omo nyina ye nuanu mo beba cho se wudu baabia na oyi utrimi so na ya mfrao rastamana ni ye betwia ma wane se wo ye de konfo yesa ye nuanu enti se wanye rasta enye se wo ye konfo dia omo wodi bi omo de fe konfo ye frene se your friend say, me pacho. Ya empesa na enu ani rasta. It is ya okonfu bia wodi ba ku bia ye different. Sa your friend say, Debbie. Nana okonfu bia ye de ba de. Nti ke ye hwemu a ye na adidie ne ye de. Parliament omo nim say RasTafari omo ba na say omo say RasTafari omo make ye won ye omo bo ɔmo saa adidie no ɛyɛ dea obi a ɔwɔ mpɛsɛmpɛsɛ biara ɛna deɛ nti a mɛso yɛ wɔ polisi mu yɛ wɔ sogya mu ɔmo so ɔmo yie ni nanso obi wɔ hɔ ɔyɛ sakora paa kɔɔse nanso n'akoma mu no ɔyɛ mpɛsɛmpɛsɛ a ɔde ahaban no yɛ deɛ baade eyi adwuma a ɔretwɛn sɛ n'abusua no bɛsɔre na ɔno nso bɛyɛ den ebeyi ne ho bɛpatɔ mewɔ berɛ na bɛha adi mesi mɛka hɛ sisi yɛbɛmate hɛ 16 regions ne nyinaa yɛbɛkɔ ne nyinaa wo a waprepare wo a wowɔ adaadeɛ no 16 regions ne nyinaa yɛbɛkɔ ne nyinaa 275 constituencies ne nyinaa so yɛbɛkɔ ne nyinaa yɛwie a yɛwurawura mu akɔ down na kuro bɛn na rasta ma anim kuro bɛn na obi ɔhye wi anim kuro bɛn ɛbi wɔ mɛmɛ so
nti papa wei topic na ɔde aba no ɔnte twii no nanso ɛna ɔbɔ ne ti kɔ nti na ɔbɔ ne ti nkɔ no ɛmeka sa wo nti me 16 regions no yɛfiri ha no yɛne kuma yɛka bad billionaires ɔmo ɔmo sika paa ɛyɛ yɛn pɛsɛpɛsɛfo yɛka sɛ yɛmpɔɔto combination ɛyɛ yɛn pɛsɛpɛsɛfo kyɛ sɛ yɛn na ɔman no yɛn na ewiase no nti ɔbɔ ɔsoro ne asase ekristofoɔ kora anim sɛ ɔyɛ deɛ baade ɔyɛ mpɛsɛmpɛsɛ ɛna ɔno na ɔdi wiase so nti edu yɛn nso so sɛ yɛmmie nti papa wei sɛ atenefoɔ nyinaa ka bompa wiase nyinaa bɛyɛ dɛ nti ɔmo third world war na ɔmo ko no foreign country no ɔmo bɛhwe ase Ghana is gateway to Africa na ɔmo bɛku yɛn sɛ yɛn mpɛsɛmpɛsɛfoɔ no ɛna yɛdi Ghana so mpatsɔ hwɛ nkwasi adwuma bi a sɛbi mpere biasa ɔmo na ɔmo ma yɛn mpɛsɛmpɛsɛfoɔ no yɛn a yɛhyɛ wi no nkwasi adwuma bi a yɛn nkɔta ballot box yɛn nkɔta wi mpatsɔ yɛn a yɛn wie bɛbɛɛba a ɔmo afiri ase na ɔmo kyekye yɛn yɛgya sɛ adwuma nti papa wi topic a mo de aba no masa ano yɛ den na ɛyɛ nokorɛ adedie no edu yɛn so ne nti a mesi edu yɛn so bi omu no sɛ mepamkyɛw bebree me nsɛ brɛ mo sɛ abɔso ba ne mɛgya pae papa wei ɛm sɛ ɔpɛ kora a ɔnkasa because ɛfi sɛ maka ne nsɛm ne nyinaa ama no ne nsɛm a wɔba bɛdu mepamkyɛw sɛ maka awie nti yɛbɛpɔn ba nti mabɛkasa mepamkyɛw saa na adedie no edu yɛn so no mepamkyɛw yɛn akɔmpɛ ukɔ frasta house anaasɛ ukɔ manchiagoe na jata ɔhɔ afei ukɔ manchia so a jata ɔhɔ ɛnyɛ jata sakoro ɛyɛ jata nti yɛn no ɛna adedie no yɛyɛ dia wiase nyinaa nim nti na ɔmo reject yɛn wɔ biribiara mu no mepamɛkyɛ ɔbɛmfa mo mmra ha na menkɔtena sɛ hwɛ wɔn sɛ yɛbɛ bi yɛwɔ faase bi na ano yɛ owini ɔpaase ɛkɔ akyimɔte school mo sɛ Ghana nyinaa wiase nyinaa esi mpɛsɛmpɛsɛfoɔ no edu wɔ so efi sɛ akyimɔte school ama yɛ president maako sɛ ama yɛ president maako sɛ ama yɛ 4 fiifoɔ a na ɛyɛ kokromoti na ɛbɛgye adeɛ ha ɛna ama wiase ɛne Ghanafoɔ nyinaa ɛyɛ mu hyehye wɔ president yi mu hyie no ɔsɛ ɛdɔ bi adeɛ ne do mpɛsɛmpɛsɛ ɛne ɛsaa ne ɛtɛ deɛ yɛn mba n'ase deɛ ɔmo yɛ yɛn ano no
RasTafari
ɛyɛ nkɔmhyɛ ne ɛdidi so mpamkyɛw ɛbere bi a yɛn nso yɛ bɛyɛ campaign ɛbi ɔmo bi nso so fiaseɛ campaign na wɔyɛ no ɛnyɛ ntɔkwadeɛ ne bi ne ɔde mo hyɛ na mo de fɔnfɔn ano sisi ɛyɛ na ade deɛ ne bi na so ɔmo hyɛ ne se kuru papa wi ne mma training bi ɔmo de ma me pacho akufo tu gugu me traso
Then I'm going to talk about it.
me pacho sana ye na didi ne du yaso eti me pamo chon bebre de da yaso ya any pretty
What do you
RasTafari. Please, those who didn't really get the vernacular, he is sticking to the topic of the day. He's presenting his angle of what he thinks that RasTafari must do if we want to be political or if we want to take part in nation building or governance, so to speak. He doesn't think we should be political. He thinks that it should be more of a monarchy. That's what he's presenting. And he thinks that RasTafari must get together with traditional priests, like those who are called Okomfu in our society. That's how he looks at it. And so he has tipped the iceberg for the main speaker. Our next speaker is a representative of the Imperial royal family, and he's the secretary of the royal family. He will give us his solidarity message. And after him, we will go to the president of the RasTafari Council and we'll take his address. Thank you.
RasTafari. Yes, sir. We give thanks. Glory to King, glory to wealth, glory to power, and glory to the King of Kings. I represent, my name is Ojo Esiedo Mpese, and I represent the Mpese royal family. The Mpese royal family is a model African family set up by the Ghana Traditional Council. The Ghana Traditional Council is the council of chiefs that oversee the running of the city of Ghana, the city of Accra. Yes, they apologize for the excesses of the slave trade and also give an opportunity to RasTafari and our brothers and sisters who are returning home from the diaspora to have a family in waiting, so that when they come home, we direct them in traditional affairs, traditional and cultural and customs. So I'm very grateful. This is the 7th RasTafari National Conference, and we have been to the past 6 ones. And I'm very happy that it has continued until this time. My chiefs are on the way coming. We give thanks to the Ghana Traditional Council for giving us this opportunity. As a RasTafari community, we have faced a lot of challenges. But the Ghana Traditional Council, seeing that Rasta have contributed a lot, so they gave us a chief in the person of Niaye in Pese Congo. Through the Sotum chief, he is also the development chief for Greater Accra. So we are here today to be with the RasTafari Council. I've worked with Rabbi Cohen and all the people on the high table. We give thanks. So all I will say is, as my previous speaker said, we won't take RasTafari Council and put it under any political organization. But politics itself is like coming together and thinking about how to move your people forward. So we can also take ourselves out of politics. So we have to be involved. We have to create our own form of politics. Things that will help the black race. Adia, Ebema, Ebibimai, Etumpong. It is a Bijanasi, a Bijanama, and Pese royal family. Na, Wojidie Kwansuno, Sede Minu Amukai, and Pese no, Ene, Akonfo, Ene, Omo Mutiti Abai, Nipa Baku, Naenso, Embraso, Edruyeso, Ese, Yeshe, Home Crime, near Campo Mas, Nipa Baku. Na, Sede, Ibube Tieno, Yesi prior always say, Eboma, ubua ewu base oyi ba akupa ubua ebebu na afiwe mu ayesi mu no rasta enya akonya se obeko senior high school but yenya problems bebree. We had to go to court and fight. My son is at Agri Memorial right now. He was made a day student, but he qualified on merit. But they didn't want to admit him. Until Embrace say Rasta is original as Onipa Bako, na ye kum eko yenim. Until Meda Obibia say ene Omabaha, no Mubeta Yechi as Rastafari. That the boss was say. Yada women rep Neswasi, Yada Rabbi Kohan Swasi. And then I am a DJ Bar say, Opia Betina say, or can your local language, no? And Redu say, Adia, a year diano, yes, yes, so we now you could go in the middle of the house.
That was a representative from the Impese royal family. Like he said, the hard work of Rastafari people in Ghana got the Ghana Traditional Council, one of the chiefs, the paramount chiefs, Neo Sabo, who will be here with us today, to institute a Rastafari chieftaincy at his paramountcy. And so those are the people that he represents. And he also re-echoed what the other said earlier. He doesn't think that Rastafari must get political like party politics. But like we're saying, the thoughts that Rastafari have been propounding are evolving. And that is why today we are able, otherwise like we wouldn't, it almost is a no-go area, so you wouldn't really want to speak about politics when you're amongst Rastafari people. But we have tabled it as a theme for our national conference. That should tell you how we have moved. But at least my order alludes to the fact that we have to get involved in nation building. Some people have been trying to define politics. Because it looks like Rastafari has demonized the word. You know, because there's a definition for politics, and almost everything about living life is political. And that is why in our evolving thoughts, we are bold enough to speak about politics. Next group who want to give us a solidarity message is the NDC Rasta Caucus. You know, yes, this group came up just in our last elections. You know, that's how far we have come. Representing them is Kofi Jedu. Show some.
Selassie.
Rastafari.
Selassie.
Rastafari.
My elders, my mothers, my sisters, and then the podium. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy for the exhale with the name NDC Rasta Caucus. Looking at the channel and the angle of where we are trying to be. But that's just by the way. I'll just take a few minutes and let you know why I'm also here and the essence of that. My name is Kofi Jedu. I'm known in Accra and I'm a fancy all over. I've worked with Marcus Garvey Foundation. I was a youth president some time past. We worked with hand in hand with the Rabbi and other great personalities. I was also a member of Ministry of the Future. I was a secretary to Ministry of the Future. We worked hand in hand with the former government and then the current government to even help the diaspora and the community to attain what? Ghanaian citizenship. As a youth in Accra, I live in an enclave or a community we call Wijabaru constituency. It is a center in the domain of Accra. We see how each and every year politics in terms of party, they use all the youth. We involve ourselves. They go to the Zongo communities. They come to the youth, knowing that we are deprived. And at the end of the day, they do what? They shun us. So, but being in Accra for so many years with my colleagues. By the way, I happen to be the secretary to NDC Rasta Caucus. I have my president here, my chairman. You see the great one here, this Jomo photographer here. Yeah. I also have my youth organizer here, who is also a recorder there. Now, what is it? We are all in a Rasta fraternity. I was once EWF General Secretary. I work with elders like my president is a RasTafari, Rasbongo, and we knew what it is to be a Pan-African and what to be in RasTafari. And we saw that we cannot live without what? Politics. As youth, as I started engaging with my brothers, engaging elders, who is more Rasta than a president of a nation? We follow His Imperial Majesty. Was he not a politician? So I was doubting my big Rasta. So we have to push that angle. To see this topic here is an elevation of what we were talking about then. And we found it so glad. Why do they use us? Even food eating. If I come to your house and you give me food, I say I won't meat. You say you don't eat meat. It's even politics. I say I want to eat meat, so you don't eat meat because that's what I want. So it means that we all have to channel what we want. So if as I'm a Rastafari and a youth and a Pan-Africanist and you want to use my brain, so no, I know how to write, I understand them, and I'll go to them. So what do? We took upon ourselves as a group called Rasta Caucus. The reason NDC was that we were trying to, use and see what they see for us. So we went to them, we went to MPP, we went to all them because they are in power. They said, oh, so do we have something like that? I said, yes. We took upon ourselves to tour all the 34 constituencies in Greater Accra. And as Daddy, the president from Ashanti Radio said, Rasta is everywhere. Immediately we sparked the thing. It was like a fool. They were afraid. So they began to bargain with us. Hey, if you people are saying this and you have your people over there and they are ready to judge us, we say, we are not politicians. We are not part of you. But we have our people. And we are in everywhere. You can follow us. So they send their national executive to follow us everywhere that we tour with them. They saw that we have the people there. So what is the bargaining? That they should listen to us. Now, for we as young people too, we also know history about how races in Ghana emerged and how they have also evolved in terms of growth. And we realize that the NDC was a party, we didn't override them with that of MPP and other. But we were seeing them to be an angle because most of our elders told us that they helped them. They helped them to even get a place. If you go to Amomole, we know the history of Amomole. Those of us that know something like that. We know of the building given to them in Jolu. We know of Pan-African concept. We know about the enthusiasm somebody like Uncle Nash gave to us. How we as youth should also involve ourselves in the youth uprising. You see, Majesty told us about community development. How do we develop our community where the chief executive or the community is a member of that political party and you don't want to get closer to him? Your light post, you pay bill on that. There's no street light there. You say you are a Rastaman. So we decided that, then the youth should take the mandate and get into it. I know there's more time we can talk about our involvement in NBC, but it was at a contract base to let them know that they cannot take us for granted, because we know that we are part and parcel of this development. We ought to transport from Accra and our destination. We pay the price, but we pay. Are we not part of it? But we don't benefit. We don't have our schools, but all the churches are being held by the government. Where is our school? Where is our development? Where is our... So this was why it's urged us to go together. That no, you can't take us for granted. And so I'm here to tell that the youth, when we try, we can make it. And we have a lot of documents to say that they were afraid, and we can do. We can conquer.
NDC RasTafari. All right, we have a focus soon.
I did tell you, I know this brother, like he told you, he used to be the secretary of the Ethiopian Federation where I work also, so he's my brethren. And so this is the evidence of the evolving thoughts that we speak about on the front line of Rastafari. This brethren I think he's the president of the NDC Rasta caucus. He's a Rastafari, but today he thinks that our thoughts about even party politics must change. And so that represents the evolving thoughts on our front. The conference takes two phases. This is the plenary, and then after we'll go into the breakaway where we discuss certain topics and try to get resolutions from this place so that we can have a standard communique. So we'd like to inform you that after the main speaker, we will come back after a short break into that breakaway sessions where we reason about certain topics and come up with resolutions for this conference. Let's please welcome the president of the Rastafari Council, who also doubles as the president of the Rastafari Continental Council, to give us his address for the 7th National Rastafari Council.
Rastafari!
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for a night to dwell together in unity and love. It's like a precious ointment that flows down the bed of Aaron and the skirts of his garment, like a dew amount. The Lord God Rastafari, blessing in life forever. I beg you, let's put our hands together for each other. Greetings to one and all in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie and Empress Mene. Respect to the royal and Pesa family who I know they're on their way, but they're represented here. Honorable Rabbi Gohei Alevi, our keynote speaker. Wait, Dada, take baby back and let somebody else do this. Thank you very much. Baby, out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, the Lord ordaineth strength and wisdom. Distinguished guests, honorable Rastafari family, brothers and sisters, on behalf of the Rastafari Council of Ghana, I say welcome to you. Welcome to the 7th National Rastafari Conference. Like my brethren Bukali said, this is in commemoration of the victory of Adwa over 126 odd years ago. It is the 13th anniversary of the foundation of the Rastafari Council in Ghana. I'd like to say Ayeko to all the brethren and sisters who were with us in 2009. I tell people voluntary work is the most difficult. And it's hard to even chastise somebody when you're working voluntarily. When a person has to pay his own money and come to meeting, and you tell him do donations, and you tell him we're going here, and he does it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And the dreadful thing with this work is it's a foundation thing. So Gave was convicted and incarcerated. It was a sacrifice he made for I and I in these days. Usajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was ridiculed by Ghanaians. Nyerere came to Accra and confessed and said in 1963 when they met in Addis Ababa, instead of appreciating what Nkrumah was saying, we were thinking about myopic, petty, selfish interests. I pray the good Lord Rastafari takes away that spirit from I and I. I beg you, let's all rise and observe a minute silence for our departed heroes. Particularly the late ambassador of Antigua and Barbuda to Ethiopia, His Excellency Lennox Franklin Francis, aka Ras Frankai Mwalimu Kwame Tafari, SKA Tafari Ni Aye Usabu Bese the first, who was installed a chief by the Bese royal family. Please let's observe a minute silence. May their souls rest in peace. Please be seated. I'd like to commend the members of the Befi crew, Baby House, the LOC, and the National Planning Committee for the diligent efforts to ensure we have a successful 7th National Rastafari Conference. To all those who contributed in cash and kind, I say may Yahweh richly bless and replenish you. Blessed is the one that giveth more than the one that taketh. The idea for an annual national conference is to enable I to reason about our liberty and contribution to national development, among others. And you could see, you could hear the impassioned delivery by Nanayao and the vibes that is coming. This is one of the reasons why we hold conference, so that we can get to talk to each other, share our views and aspirations. Apart from these conferences, we also have opportunities for interaction through the various outreaches and groundations. For instance, last year, 2nd November, we were in Fodome, in the Volta region. These activities are in line with the objectives for establishing the Rastafari Council of Ghana, and they include promoting unity among the various mansions, organizations, and individual Rastafari in Ghana. So here in this room, we have EWF Brethren, you have 12 Tribe Brethren, you have Bobo Brethren, you have Naya Bingit Brethren, you have the Brethren of Brunash who will call I Walk Alone Rasta. They are not affiliated, but you know they're still Rasta. And that's one of the beautiful things about the Rastafari Council. We also seek to represent Rastafari to government and other identifiable bodies, and also provide a one-stop solution resource base to all who repatriate to Ghana and Africa where necessary. There's been so many stories about happenings in this repatriation move over the decades. And so the council seeks to provide support for ones and ones where needed. We also seek to advance the mutual interest of all Rastafari in Ghana where possible, providing financial or material support, and also establishing youth development and educational programs. Over the last 6 conferences, I have sought to shape the thoughts and outlook of Rastafari based on the themes chosen for each year. So the first National Rastafari Conference had a theme, the role of Rastafari in repatriation, with a distinguished scholar and traditional leader, Nana Kobena Nkitia V of Manhili of the Sikado traditional area and Western region, delivering the keynote address. And Samia Nkrumah was our guest of honor. The interesting thing is that Nana Kobena Nkitia's uncle, who he succeeded, was part of the delegation or the team that met the delegation from the Caribbean. I'm sure the Virgin who studied the history of Rastafari movement remember that in the 60s there was a delegation from Jamaica that came and met Kwame Nkrumah, and Kobena Nkitia's uncle was one of them. The following year, in 2016, we had the honor of having Professor Horace Campbell, who authored the seminal book on Rastafari, Rasta and Resistance, from Marcus Garvey to Walter Rodney, delivering the keynote address with the theme, the role of Rastafari and the African Reconstruction. And it might interest you to know that at that time, Professor Horace Campbell was the Kwame Nkrumah chair at the Institute of African Studies. The following year, Professor Divalera Potri of the University of Cape Coast gave the keynote address at the 3rd conference, which looked at intra-African trade for sustainable development. After these 3 conferences in Kumasi, we felt it was time to move. No, the 3 conferences in Accra, we felt it was time to move. And obviously Kumasi is the 2nd biggest city in Ghana, so we went to Kumasi. And the theme was organizing and centralizing for Rastafari development, with Ras Aswad in Krabia delivering the keynote address. Following year, 5th conference, Beyond the Year of Return, what next? And our keynote speaker was the late Ambassador of Antigua and Barbuda to Ethiopia, His Excellency Lennox Franklin Francis, aka RasFrankai. May his soul rest in peace. We were with him in the Volta region 2 years ago, and he gave us a very insightful delivery on what we could do beyond this. Delivered a keynote address on the theme Rastafari Welfare, a new faculty of overspending, Rastafari Insurance Welfare Scheme. So Rastafari is usually self-employed, and those of you who remember where Rastafari is coming, the level of underemployment within the community means that as ones and ones aged, the ability to earn and support themselves and their families pose the challenge. And as more, I'll encourage and as a body to critically look at a welfare insurance scheme. We don't have to wait for the baby to be born before we run and go and look for the midwife. If you do that, you may not have your child nor your wife. You look for a midwife before the situation arises. The Rastafari Council Ghana since 2009 has endeavored to impact positively on the lives of Rastafari in Ghana and abroad, as well as contributing meaningfully to national development. The fight for the rights of our youths in the Achimota saga has been well chronicled. And I will continue to advocate for NI rights, which include the sacred herb, which our LOC chairperson spoke so eloquently about. In that regard, we expect the legislative instruments on cannabis to go through Parliament so that the work with hemp can start like yesterday. I'd also like to call on Parliament to work diligently to ensure that Ghana as a nation benefits from the burgeoning green gold economy, which is like round the bend. Apart from the economic benefits, there are health and industrial benefits. It is important we lobby our Parliament to take the necessary steps to ensure that, Charlie, we no go rely on e-levy alone. You see, cannabis is a renewable resource. E-levy is a resource, but matters are rising. This year, our keynote speaker has been referred to as the President of African Americans in Ghana. And he has been living here for nearly 4 decades. He's married to a lovely empress from the Volta region and is the executive director for the Panafest Foundation. And one of the reasons why I lobbied the youth to bring ambassador is Ancient, I beg, give us a wave. Ancient has been harassing the gospel. Charlie, let's go and do something with the Panafest people and emancipation. And so I'm like, the best way to foster that relationship is to bring the headmaster of Panafest. He's the executive director of the Panafest Foundation. I beg, let's show him some love. So that at least before he leaves, I know Ancient will have a minute with him and tell him his thoughts on how Rastafari can be involved in Panafest and emancipation. Rabbi will be talking to us on Rastafari and politics, opportunities for Rastafari in Ghana. And for somebody who grew up when black people in America were not where they are today, and he's seen all, who believed that, and the sweet thing is he's also seen our democratic development in this 4th Republican dispensation. So we believe that he will be able to look at the 2 scenarios and tell us why he thinks as youth we should do certain things. Kwame Nkrumah once said, "Seek ye first the political kingdom, and all things shall be added unto thee. I believe that until Rastafari steps to the table, our political emancipation and independence as a people will be incomplete. Why am I saying this? You see, politics is for national development. And when we put this topic on the platform, I got a lot of backlash. Trust me. People were like, what kind of politics should they talk about? And you think Rastafari do politics and things. And just before, or this morning, on the platform, one of my big brothers, Razazwa, sent me something. And he's advising that there's the need for political knowledge and political awareness. And we should be wary of the negative politics, especially the political violence where intra-party, not inter-party self, intra-party. Me and you all, we did WWW. And we are beating and killing ourselves. Then when we meet the people from WWEDH, now I will be more than well wrestling. Now for me, I believe, and you see, I'm 59, so I think it's time I say these things, so that if I die tomorrow, at least I share my thoughts. Ras Mubarak used to come to my house in Medina, so I know Ras from his DJ days. And so I saw my brethren, and these are the conversations I used to have. And I saw Ras demonstrate it by going into parliament and making impact. What I want to encourage the brethren is, I won't tell you what party to join, but remember Marcus Garvey formed a party in Jamaica. If you don't know, go and do your political history. Haile Selassie gave Ethiopia a constitution. If we want a law to be passed which makes it possible for our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, once you get to the airport, you get an automatic 2 years. Within those 2 years, due diligence, this. After those 2 years, it's either an automatic citizenship or an elevation of the process. It will take Parliament to pass that bill. If the people in Parliament do not understand these things, and I tell my wife, I remember in the 80s, and Mr. Gloria, big up yourself, in the 80s, the 12 tribes of Israel, we used to go around the whole Accra, preaching the message that our people were taking from Africa against their will, and they need to come home. We preached it since the 80s. It took Ghana, how many years for John Mahama to do it first? Over how many years?
30 years.
So imagine if I had the ability to just sign. You know, when you're a president, it's sweet. You sign it and it becomes law. Can you imagine if one of I was sitting there and signing, we signed the repatriation there. So what we're talking is the reality of walking the talk. I grew up as a Rasta from 14 years. This is me. Anybody who knows that also will tell you, Charlie, this boy there from we know him, he be Rasta man. My friends in the body used to call me Rasta before I even know say this is the thing. The point I'm making is until we step up to the table and put our thoughts and aspirations there and debate them, we will just be sitting in the back. Rastafari for those CI, building church and university to make us their fool. Let us step up to the table. Now, the 2-3 things I like to say, then I'll step down. In 2009, the Rastafari Council took a wonderful initiative to establish the Black Star Line Cooperative Credit Union. Years down the line, we've had to call for a forensic audit into the operations of the credit union. And as we speak, we're hoping that sooner than later, that audit will unravel issues with the credit union. There are lessons in this. One of the lessons for the next generation of Rastafari is keep your eye on the ball. And you see, when you conceptualize something and you take your eye off the ball and you give it to that man to do it, by the time you come back, you may go and commit suicide. I'm serious. Because Charlie, the thing you have to come and face, as I'm standing here, people are calling Daddy Bosco's name all over the world. Friends in Jamaica called me and said, Daddy, he said, you go chop money. And people who know me know that's the last thing I'll do, because me, integrity is key to me. Excuse me, chop somebody's how many thousand CD, spoil your name? No. So what the Rastafari Council wants to assure the world is that there's an audit, a forensic audit going on, and we will ensure that the truth in the whole matter comes forward. Because you see, I brought the idea forward, brought it to the Pan-African community. And I know that, wisdom is not in one man's head. So come around, let's do this work. Like I said, there are lessons. And if we go forward and reform the Rastafari Traders Cooperative or the Rastafari Farmers Cooperative, I'll encourage the youth to exercise proper ownership. Let me also commend our Women's Commission led by the Women's Commissioner Empress Mawina Safinaje. They've done a lot of good work. They do more welfare and charity. They donate to. Last year they did presentations to some of our elderly in our community. They also do support for schools. They donate books and all those things. And I'll encourage ones to hook up with them so that together we can do more good works. I've already spoken about the positive interactions in the Volta region, where the whole, and you see the beauty about the Volta region is by the time we got there, the chiefs and the elders were sitting here like this, full. And we want to see more of such positive community engagements, which I believe should all mainly lead to some development projects like schools and health posts. It costs us about 7,000 cedis to put this thing together. How much will it cost you to build a 3-classroom block? That the chief is working with you and organizing communal labor. Charge us 7,000, you will go far. You can buy cement, buy things. And so for me, these are the things that over the next few years we want to get involved in. It will be exciting to know that next year on a certain date we invite everybody and say, let's go and commission the creche or the primary school at Echumoku. Because you see, there's been this conversation that let's build a Rasta school, and I say no, let's not build a Rasta school, let's build schools. You have to impact your wider community. Don't start and say they got building Rasta school for Rasta children. Excuse me, my children will live in Medina. If you build a school in Temasef, nobody go. Let's build a school so that people in the communities will benefit and they'll see our good work. COVID-19 is still hovering around in its various, mutations. And it has some sexy names they use. Delta. I'm sure the next one will be something. I beg you, I advise you to fortify your immune systems through healthy eating, positive thinking, and exercise. Vaccine, I won't talk about it. I know Rastas who've taken the vaccine. I'm not against them. Somebody said that because we know we take the vaccine. Unless maybe I have to go travel out of Ghana and I'm holding on till the last. But it's your personal choice. And don't feel guilty triple. If you go and take the vaccine, don't feel guilty. But take a decision you will be comfortable with. LGBTQ+. It seems the conversation has gone down. But I need to remain vigilant. I tell you something, this is a strategy to control our population.
Yes.
Statistically, it's been shown that over the next 50 years, the population of Europe, Americas will decimate. And Africa, the way we were born. So my advice is that let's be careful how we accept these alien cultures. It will be part of a grand scheme to thwart our future. On the continental front, the pressures and restrictions imposed by the pandemic meant we could not have the All-Africa Rastafari gathering in the Rastafari Continental Summit in Tanzania as we had intended. Instead, we had a virtual session where we did seminars to enhance our skills and entrepreneurial abilities. This year, all things being well, we hope to go to Kenya for the 5th AARG and 3rd RCC Summit, and we'll keep the family informed. The good thing is that you don't need a visa to go to Kenya if you're a Ghanaian. And the fares are quite cool, like $600 if you start saving from now. Maybe if you burn like 5 bunch a month, maybe cut it down. Travel and see. If you travel, you will build your networks and your knowledge will grow. Haile Selassie says education is the means of sharpening the mind, both spiritually and intellectually. He also says education is the greatest guarantee for a secure future. So my advice to the youth, get some skills, get some knowledge. Because you see, the fight ahead, is going to be fought in the space of skills, knowledge, and information. No be kappa. Mind, prepare your mind. Unity. Last year at conference, I expressed my belief that true unity does not mean the absence of conflict. It is the way we handle conflicts that arise that determines our level of unity. Unity is like eating. You can be eating your favorite tilapia and then before you bit your tongue. Do you stop eating? What you rather do is you've learned how to enjoy your favorite dish without biting your tongue. And that is how unity is. It's like work in progress. You see my sweet wife, we've been married for nearly 40 years. There's no day we don't fight. And I don't mean like don't fight. My daughter is there, my granddaughter is there, real. Sometimes after the fight, 3 days. And people don't know me to know the way I am. Me, I don't like talking. So when I come from work, I go into the bedroom. But does it mean we've stopped marriage? No. It's a lifetime thing. And that's how unity is. It's a constant work in progress. If we're determined to work as Rastafari, then that's the way we gotta go. Otherwise, the way I even look at Jaedi, or like when I'm passing like this, I don't greet Jaedi, so I just go and I greet Rabbi. He's gonna bear a grudge. True of us. He's gonna be like, but Daddy Boss will not see me. Let us learn to overcome these small things. These are the things that will divert us from the big picture. Beloved brethren and sisters, unity is key. The Baba for beyond the return and manifest and emancipation and everything is here, so we will leave it to him. But as I wind up, I'd like to touch on a subject that is crucial: leadership. Soon, some of us will have to step aside. Be like this, next year I will be 60. So I doubt if I'm going to fit follow conference all over the country like this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you're a pensioner, the money too is small and you don't get all those perks and find your resources.
You never retire.
But this calls for grooming and preparation. And sometimes it gratifies my heart to see the level of enthusiasm that the youth demonstrate. I mean, for the first 3 conferences, I was on the case, calling my friends, Charlie, have you sent some support? This. This conference, I just chopped for one corner. And Ras, Mauli organizer, Charlie, give us a wave. I mean, Mauli don't reach 100%, it's like 60%. But even at 60%, see what he's doing. Imagine if he goes to even 80% return. Big respect. And the youth like Young Dada, he's the vice president of the council, Kojoko Polo, because of Wayne. Coco just got a diploma in journalism the other day. I'm on his case to get a PhD in the next 8 years. And I'm serious. The king says leadership does not mean domination. The world is full of people who wish to rule and dominate others. The true leader is a different sort. He seeks effective activity which has the truly beneficent purpose. He inspires others to follow in his wake, holding aloft the torch of wisdom, leads the way for society to realize its genuinely great aspirations. So we're expecting